always a treat to be back here at UN Luggage in the Exchange District with our good friend, Mr. Jon Thiessen. Thank you so much for welcoming us back here.
Good morning.
So it's extra special to be back here because a number of weeks ago there was a little bit of a blip, an incident in the block here in your neighborhood. There was some fire, which resulted in you all having to leave the premises for a little while. How has the recovery been, and what's it like being back in here?
Well, we were thankfully only closed for a couple of days,
Okay.
and yeah, our immediate neighbor, the restaurant, had a bit of a fire, and so we had some smoke in the building, and everything had to be sort of, I guess, what they would call remediated, and so been a lot of cleaning, a lot of wiping, a lot of HEPA vacuuming, a lot of special sponges wiping everything down, and a lot of inventory that had to be moved.
Okay.
So, but we're back, we're open, and yeah, it's nice.
Nice to have you back, and nice to know that things are relatively okay. And it was only just a couple of days worth of away time.
Yeah,
that's great to hear. So now we're getting into the colder temperatures. We're getting into some different kind of seasonal travel. But as always, you have just the bag for whatever occasion. What are you thinking about right now?
Well, the bag I'm thinking about right now is it sort of answers a question that a lot of people have, which is how do I get as much as I can aboard a plane?
Aha.
And so everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people have their carry-on, and then a common question is how do I get more aboard? And then they try to max out their personal item space.
I'm so guilty of this, so I'm glad we're doing this.
So I am going to present to you, and everybody who's watching here, a bag that has become very popular. It's a Bellroy bag, so an Australian company that make a very smart, lightweight backpack. So this is a bag that straps come out, carried as a backpack. It does drop over the handle of a suitcase. So it's the idea is this can sit on top of your suitcase. And what makes it a little bit different is that it's a backpack that packs like a suitcase. So inside here, the idea is that if you need a little bit of extra clothing to max out your carry-on space, that clothing gets rolled, folded into here. We discovered this bag because my wife actually owns this bag, so she would have clothing in here. She travels with sandals, so those are left in here. Her cosmetics are in this pouch here. And then liquids, so you can pull them out easily going through security, are in here.
Aha.
And then you have, while this is on top of your suitcase, you have your tablet and your passport wallet.
Everything's so easy to access, everything right at your fingertips, able to be used when you need it. This bag from Bellroy. So you mentioned that your wife was one of the people who started using this bag. And I'm curious, what is it about a bag store proprietor such as yourself, when you see a product coming down the line and you go, okay, that's it. I got to have that for my own travel. What goes into that decision for you as you are evaluating your own travel needs?
Well, my own travel, buying for my wife, she likes organization. So she's more organized than I am. So I can travel with a sack. She would like to have pockets. You know, the weight is important, the style is important. So, you know, different styles, but this one worked out very well because, you know, it was a new bag for us, but it sort of very much fit the bill of what she was trying to do, which is get more aboard in an organized way. So,
and it's I like the style of this kind of a bag as well, this Bellroy bag, because it has this sort of textured appeal to that. It has a very sort of stylish look, as if you were, you got a bit of a trendier sort of a travel going on, but if you're not feeling like maybe there's like a leather briefcase in your style, or maybe that's not quite fitting your travel needs, you've got this to be able to, as you say, maximize that sort of travel. When you are looking at somebody who's buying this kind of bag, is it the person who maybe could stand to take less in their carry-on? Maybe somebody who needs a bit of that not disorganization, but wants to maximize every single part of their travel experience? Or is it more that person like your wife who likes things organized, things that are ordered?
Well, I think like the idea of it is that you can do both. Like if you were just overnighting, if you were just said, I have a business trip in Ottawa, I'm only going there for a night, you might not even want something on wheels.
Sure.
You know, there are, you know, I would probably not use wheels. I'd probably, if I was going for a night, I probably would take something just like this, where I can fold in a change of clothes, not get, know that it's going to go into any overhead, know that it's easy to put it at my feet if I need to. So I think you can do both.
Amazing. And there's a lot of these other Bellroy products here in behind us as well in this display for any kind of traveler. Obviously, you have the different, this is the same bag, but they're in different colors. Different colors here. These, I mean, that's a very sort of a fall sort of a color. How often when people come into the store, how often are they looking for luggage that matches a season? Or are they looking for, like if somebody's looking to have like different bags, like this is the ultra stylish person we're talking about here, right? How often do you find that folks are looking for the bag that matches like autumn in this case?
Well,
does that ever happen?
I wish we had people who bought luggage based on seasons. That we'd sell a lot of luggage, but I think people are usually they often, black is number one. Yeah. Because bags do get beaten up, they do get dirty, and so anything you're handing over to an airline, people often default to black because they're just feels a little bit safer. And then always anything matches the black suitcase. But when you're going away from something that's black, people are just usually looking for something that appeals to them, not by season, but something that they can invest in long term. So if you're a fan of, like that plum suitcase over there, it's an expensive bag, so it's not going to be bought every season. It's going to be something that you like the look of and invest in. This would be the same. I wouldn't expect anybody to buy this because it's a nice fall color. But if you want to, by all means.
Then by all means.
I'm not going to say no.
Okay, then maybe less about season, but then maybe how often do you find a person who goes, okay, this is sort of my color palette. This is my style.
That more so.
Yeah. And then what kinds of questions and what kinds of processes do you and the expert sales staff here at UN Luggage go through to ensure that they've got the bag that lasts them a long time, but also matches that personal sense of style when they travel?
Well, I think that a lot of our customers, if they're investing a lot in a suitcase, they don't go too bright. They like something that's more neutral, a little bit more safe, a little bit something that is going to sort of appeal maybe for a longer period of time. This sort of chalk color, this has actually been popular. So in the carry-on sizes, this light color seems to be popular in soft side. In checked bags, people who like this lighter color usually like hard side because this, if it gets dirty, it's harder to clean if it's a checked bag. Sure. If it's a hard side bag, it's a little bit easier to sort of, spray some Fantastic on it and give it a wipe down.
Sure. So if it's not checked, it's chalk.
There you go.
There you go. You can have that slogan for free. Fantastic. And they're, of course, able to find these colors. And I would imagine also that given your expert relationships with the businesses and the brands that you work with here, that there's probably abilities also if somebody's like, that's not quite the color I'm looking for, that's not quite the thing, that there's able to, maybe there's some color and custom ordering.
Yeah,
to
like
some
that
degree.
to some degree, but like, there's not a brand that's going to specifically make one color
to
accommodate
sure,
anybody, and we try to, like in this Bellroy bag we're talking about, we carry the only 3 colors that they do. In some brands, they do so many colors that you can't possibly stock everything. And then, of course, we would try to special order, one-off colors if there's something that somebody's after that we don't carry. But if it's a good bag, we try to carry a deep variety of color options.
Well, certainly those neutrals that you were talking about before that everybody's going to be gravitating towards with colors like this black or this newly popular chalk color being in the lead. This is a great demonstration of the expert service that Jon Thiessen and the team at UN Luggage provides you. Come visit them right here in their stores in the Exchange District. We'll, of course, have more information at our website, classic107.com, and the Classic 107 app. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for welcoming us back to UN Luggage.